Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Jackson, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the overall draft for the Dallas Cowboys, giving the grades and my thoughts on the players and who can contribute day one to our team. So before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys will like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. Into the draft, the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, had 7 needs, and those of which were the offensive tackle position, the offensive center position, wide receiver depth, running back, defensive tackle, linebacker, corner. Those were the 7 spots I felt like the Dallas Cowboys needed to improve on. And they, for the most part, fixed most of those positions I just named. They got wide receiver depth, cornerback depth. They got another linebacker to add to that depth. They got a center. They got a tackle in this draft. But before the trade that had went down first round, we only had 3 picks in the first top 100 that would have helped us fix those 7. So with the first thing I'm going to get into and I'm going to talk about is the trade down from originally their spot 24, trade down 5 spots with the Detroit Lions. For me, I'm going to overall grade that draft, or just grade that grade for that trade. I'm going to give that an A, because you moved down 5 spots and you picked up a 3rd round pick in this year's class. Because when I was looking at the other draft picks that were going on, like I saw the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were in a similar situation like us. They were at 17, they moved down to 23, so they moved down 6 spots, and they ended up picking up a 3rd round pick for next year and a 5th round pick for next year. We moved down 6 spots and got a 3rd round pick in this year's class. So if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you gotta look at that on the bright side and be like, okay, they were actually willing and dealing in that particular spot right there. But the Dallas Cowboys needed to do that well before the draft. But not only that, I also liked how the board fell to them as well. We had a record-breaking draft, if you guys watched the draft, where it was 14 straight offensive players were taken off the board, right? So the first defensive player getting taken off the board was Latu to go to out of UCLA. He went to the Indianapolis Colts, right? Corners went a little bit before us as well, but that's why I'm glad the board fell the way it did, because one of the best cornerbacks in the draft, Tyron Arnold, was available for the Detroit Lions. And I was talking about it in mock drafts and things like that, that it takes 2 to tango. So there's going to have to be a team that wants to trade up with you to get that pick. And there was a couple of teams that wanted to trade up with you, in my opinion. Not only was the Detroit Lions, but I'm pretty sure it was the Kansas City Chiefs, because I know they moved up a couple spots where Buffalo was. They were at 32. They moved up 4 spots to go get Xavier Worthy. So there were some teams out here that were willing to trade up. The Carolina Panthers were willing to trade up into the first round to go get another wide receiver and Xavier Leggett. So, there was a bunch of movement going on, and I felt like out of all the movements that happened in the first round, you basically won the trade for that day. So with that being said, you moved down 5 spots and you picked up your left tackle, Tyler Guyton. Before I talk about Tyler Guyton, when I did a lot of my own mock drafts, I was picking center in the first round, Graham Barton, who could play center as well. And I was picking up guys like edges, defensive tackle. So I was looking at a lot of different players when I would trade down in the first round. And I would basically not be picking a left tackle, right? And I understand the Dallas Cowboys did pick Tyler Guyton, and some people might view it as reach. Some people might view it as a really great pick. I view it as a really solid pick. And I think initially when the pick first happened, I wasn't super excited, only because many people predicted this pick was going to happen. I saw that name floating around way too much for the Dallas Cowboys, and they said that if they get wiped at tackle and if Tyler Guyton is still available, that the Dallas Cowboys would want to select him. Like if Troy Fautanu, who went to the Steelers, I think only 4 spots ahead of Dallas, Troy Fautanu was available. You had Talisi Fuaga, who got selected at 15th. So, not 15, but I believe 16 or 17. So, you still had a lot of good offensive tackles that were available to you. You even had Graham Barton, who was available to you as well. So, that's what ended up happening. Talisi Fuaga got drafted. Troy Fautanu got drafted. So, ultimately, you trade down 5 spots. You picked up another 3rd round pick. And that that extra third round, and then you picking up Tyler Guyton was very happy for me. I was very happy with that on draft day. But with Tyler Guyton, the only reason why I was like kind of skeptical about it was because he's very green to the position. He's only had played offensive tackle for 14 games. Before that, when he was at TCU, he played defensive line and he played tight end in special packages or whatever, goal line packages and things like that. He was playing tight end. So, with him being very young at the position, that's what's kind of scary to me because I don't really want to have an inexperienced guy playing on Dak Prescott's blind side, especially with Dak Prescott being the last year of his deal. I don't want Dak Prescott getting hurt. But Tyler Guyton, for me, I will give the pick a C plus. The reason why I'm not going to give it a higher grade is because he's very new to the position. But he has all the tangibles to make himself better, right? One thing that he automatically comes into, and you don't have to teach him, is his size, his weight, and his athletic ability. He weighs 322 pounds. He stands at 6'8", and some view him as a plug and play type of guy. Some view him as a right tackle. Some people view him as a left tackle. A lot of the quotes that you guys have been seeing that I'm putting up on the screen right now, you can tell that he's fine doing whatever that can help the team win, and he's fine with moving to left tackle. And he said that he feels like he's a better player at left tackle. Well, if that's the case, we're going to find that out. And there's a lot of great tape and film on him. Baldy broke him down, so if you guys want to go check that out, I'm having that posted right here as well. But Baldy broke him down, very athletic, gets out of stance very quickly. He also did a one-on-one versus Jared Verse in one of the bowl games, and he held his own versus Jared Verse in 2022. So Tyler Guyton has some solid film out there. I feel like what he needs to work on to get better is his hand placement, his technique, the way he helps in run game, where you see him galloping to the defender to try and duo block and all that type of things. So Kansas, you saw with him galloping to the defenders and run blocking. When he was out there helping out in screens, he was doing that very well. He quickly got out of his stance, was able to get a guy. So I really like what Tyler Guyton could be for the Dallas Cowboys in the future. Like for sure in 2025, I think he's going to be very, very good. Again, I gave this grade a C plus, and my expectation for him year one is to one, not get my quarterback hurt. Two, don't be penalty driven where you have a bunch of penalties or to your record. Don't be that guy. And that goes for the entire team. We can't be penalty driven as a team. And then also, thirdly, just don't give up timely stacks and don't be a Chaz Green. Don't give up 3 sacks like what Terrence Steele did versus Hassan Reddick last year. Just don't be the rookie that's constantly getting picked on. But I think we're going to help him out. We're going to have some, we signed back Zeke, so Zeke can help him out on that side. So I feel like we're going to be good on that end. But Tyler Guyton, he will be fine. He has all the tangibles. He has all the things to get better. And we're going to be honestly fine with him as our offensive tackle. Still a really good player. But I wanted to get a guy possibly like Jackson Powers Johnson. But then again, I wouldn't have been so happy if we left the draft not getting an offensive tackle, to be honest. So our second round pick, Marshon, Neal out of Western Michigan. He weighs 267 pounds. He stands at 6'3". He has very long arms to take on blockers and the explosive strength to set the edge when teams run at him. Guys, he had a 99th percentile in college for the past 2 years. He's a very good defensive end, and this is potentially your comp. Possibly what I hear from people and what I saw with my own eyes is Marcus Lawrence. It's both at 6'3", both weighed 250 plus pounds coming out of college. Both played for semi-small schools, and they both had massive production and were very good in the run percentile coming out of college. I really like what Marshon Neal can bring to you. He can also bring you flashes in the passing game as well. Short area quickness, he has that down. I really like this spot. And don't forget, defensive end spot was something that you needed because you lost Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, and Sam Williams was a question mark for you as a full-time starter. And then D-Law's on a 1 year of his deal, and then Micah is going to be getting extended to a very large deal. Plus, you don't know what Mike Zimmer is going to do with a guy like Micah Parsons. So, Marshon Neal possibly, once he figures out how to pass rush, he was able to pass rush and he had very good tape versus at the Senior Bowl versus Jordan Morgan. So he can pass rush as well. So I felt like if he gets a little bit better at having more nuance to his pass rush moves and adding more to that, adding more pass rush moves to his tool belt, I think would be great. But he already has what he automatically has bringing to the NFL is strength and knowing his leverages and everything like that. He's going to be very good with that heading into the NFL. So basically, with our trade down pick from the Detroit Lions, we basically got our center of the future. My favorite pick of the draft, one of my favorite uh, picks of the draft, and that is Cooper Beebee. Um, he's a 4-year starter who played at guard and tackle at Kansas State. He's a very strong player. He has very great anchor to him. Once you see him in the run block department, you just see him mauling people in the run game, and that was very great to see. You know, he was not running behind, but he was blocking in front of Deuce Vaughn, and Deuce Vaughn got so many great yards and carries because Deuce Vaughn is 5'5", and he can hide behind a big guy that weighs 322 pounds, and he stands at 6'3". It's going to be hard to see a 5'5" guy right behind him, right? So, you know, you just saw Cooper Beebe just running people over, plowing people. He's quick. He's smart as well. He can recognize line studs and blitzes. This is a very great pick in my opinion. He brings that flexibility to play guard and center. So yes, we drafted him in his position is going to be guard, but he is going to be playing center. When you saw him getting drafted on Friday, he was saying how when reporters were interviewing him, he was saying that he was speaking with the Cowboys, and he's already been working with Duke Manyweather, but basically the Cowboys were saying, look, like, can you play center? He's like, yeah, he can do that. So we're fine with Cooper Beebe as my center, and I think we're going to be very good. And now your offensive line looks brand new. It's young. We've finally been needing to upgrade and rearrange your offensive line for the past 7 years. You've been needing to fix your offensive line, and I'm glad that we're doing it in this year's draft, because once you take care of your offensive line and you pay them right and they stay healthy and they're just consistently getting better, this is a position group where you don't really have to worry about for the next 5 to 10 years, because Tyler Guyton, when he pans out, he's going to be your left tackle for the next 10 years. Tyler Smith, he's an all-pro. He showed you that in the second year of his rookie contract, right? But he still has more years to on that contract. But anyway, center Cooper Beebe, if he can be better than Tyler Biadasz, which I think day one he's going to be, then right guard, you're going to have Zach Martin, who's finally going to be going through training camp and things of that nature, so he's going to be fine. You have Terrence Steele being his second year fully removed from that ACL injury. You're going to hope and pray that he's fine and he's back to himself. Like I said, with Cooper Beebe working out with Duke Manyweather, 4 out of 5 your offensive line is going to be there working out with him, and Cooper Beebe's already used to the workouts. And then you're going to end up having a guy like Tyler Guyton, who more than likely is going to be working out with all his teammates, because I want Tyler Guyton to soak up all the information with Zach Martin, Tyler Smith, Terrence Steele. I want all that knowledge and how them helping him out with tackle play, because all of them have played tackle. All of them. Terrence Steele played tackle. Martin played tackle in the NFL for a little bit, and also mainly in Notre Dame. Tyler Smith, coming from Tulsa, coming into the league, he was playing left tackle, so they have plenty of pointers to give to a guy like Tyler Guyton, so I'm very happy with that. And I love that pairing of this the 29th pick and the 73rd pick. That was very great by the Dallas Cowboys. I really love what they did there. Marius Luu, he weighs 234 pounds. He's 6'2". He has excellent length, and he runs very well in chases with great effort. He is also a hell of a coverage guy as well, and that's what Zimmer loves out of his linebackers, guys that can cover in space and that can cover in the pass game, right? With him being 6'2", being very rangy, you don't have to worry about him passes getting thrown over his head, him having to guard those fast backs like CMC, Alvin Kamara, any of those short area quickness type of backs. He can keep up with them as well. And the thing that sold Marius to be a Dallas Cowboy, and Mike Zimmer had a phone call with him when they're interviewing and they're doing the cinematic views of the draft. They're saying what sold him was Zimmer put him on the whiteboard, and gave him a scenario, right? That's what they do with a lot of these prospects. Hey, I'm gonna give you this play. I'm gonna give you this. What's happening? What's going on? What would you do? You play in the linebacker position, Marius. Where are you gonna line your defensive tackle at to stop the run? Where are you gonna line up Micah to make sure that he's able to get in the best spot possible to get to the quarterback? How many yards of depth are you gonna have your cornerback say? Hey, scoot up. Hey, back off, whatever. So basically, Marius knowing where everyone can line up on the defensive side of the ball is what sold Mike Zimmer. That's what ultimately sold the Cowboys into him getting drafted in the third round. He has very active hands, and when you see him in the engaging in the run game, he's able to long arm defenders or long arm offensive guards from getting up in his chest and things of that nature. Like I said, he's a very instinctual linebacker, and I've been needing that. If he can come in and be an impact starter, which I think he will. Same thing with Cooper Beebee. I think he's going to be your starting center. Marshon, Neal, he's going to be your rotational defensive end. I forgot to cover those guys and what they do day one. Marius Luu stays healthy. He's going to be next to Eric Kendrick, soaking up a bunch of knowledge. You have Overshown, and I feel like Luu and Overshown are going to be a very exciting linebacker and doing to watch when they're healthy and they're clicking on all cylinders. Caelean Carson, for me, this is personally one of my steals of the draft. He weighs in at 199 pounds. He's 6 feet tall. He's really sticky in coverage. He can play inside in the nickel spot. He can play on the outside. He can play. He's a very tough run defender. He's going to also be helping out Bones Fossil, playing special teams. So, one thing about Caelean, he's very confident. He has the length and size to play the cornerback position. And don't forget, guys, we are very, very needy at the cornerback position. I understand that I am making this video on Monday, and that now is when teams can sign players and it won't hurt towards their comp pick formula. So if I'm Dallas Cowboys, I still like to sign a guy like Stephon Gilmore if it is available for that to happen. I want him to be around Diggs and Bland and Jordan Lewis for sure. And I want him to be around those guys that are very good at what they do. And I want him to suck up all that knowledge as well. And I want him to be himself, and I want him to just be the best version of himself that he can be, because I really do feel like he's going to be in that rotation of corners with Deron Bland and Diggs. And then if Jordan Lewis does leave, you are going to have a guy like Caelean Carson who can step up for him. Again, I really like what he can do. Ryan Flournoy, very productive wide receiver out of Southeast Missouri State. He has a very big frame. He's very tough, has big hands. He ran a 4.4 second 40-yard dash at the combine. He's a very athletic wide receiver. He's very great after the catch, averaging 15.4 yards after the catch. I think this is a really good pick, and I love what the Dallas Cowboys did by adding another traitsy wide receiver. And I think that Dallas can really get the most out of him. And I think so can Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott can get a lot out of him. And then Nathan Thomas, offensive guard. Very brute, strong offensive lineman. He weighs 332 pounds. He stands at 6'5". He's very quick and excellent with his size. There's a lot to like about his upside. He flashes the ability to move edge defenders in the run game, and he overwhelms second-level defenders in space. So this is a very run-through type of offensive tackle, and you're not going to want to get in his way in open field. And like you said, he's pretty fast in space. And he was a 2-year starter at left tackle, but lined up at right tackle when Louisiana Lafayette Tech, that's where he went unbalanced. So any single time that they had an injury, they were moving Nathan Thomas to a different position, and I really like that. He's going to bring position flexibility, and he's definitely going to be a guy that is going to be a swing tackle for you in the future. And he might be a practice squad guy, but you guys see what he can do in the preseason, right? And with Justin Roberts, defensive tackle, big nose technique. He weighs 330 pounds. He stands at 6'3". He's very easy to get off the ball. I remember he played in the SEC. Some of his best tape was against Cedric Van Pran. Cedric Van Pran was blocking guys like Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and things of that nature. So Justin Rogers has, pretty decent tape as well. I like he was able to get off the ball pretty quickly, and he's able to push the pocket. So having that in your defensive technique where you're able to push the pocket at times, you're not really going to want him to pass rush down in and down out. But this is definitely a guy that is upside driven, and that's what most of your day 3 picks are going to be. So yeah, man, that's about it really for the video. So again, grading these picks again, Tyler Guyton, I'll give that a C+. Marshon Neal, I'll give that a B+. That Cooper Beebee, I'm giving it an A+. Marius Luu, I'm giving it an A-. Caelean Carson, I'm giving it a B. Ryan Flournoy, I'm giving it a B+. Nathan Thomas, I'm giving that a C. Justin Rogers, I am giving that a C as well. For me, overall, if I had to give the grade to this class, I would give it anywhere from a B to a B plus. This is a very good class. I really liked what we did. I believe that Tyler Guyton is going to be able to start for you if he provides enough evidence that he can start for you. Year one, he will. Marshon is going to start. Cooper Beebee for sure is going to start at center. Marius Luu is going to get rotational spots. I see him being a weak side linebacker next to Eric Kendricks. Caelean Carson is going to be getting spot duty at corner and rotational guy. Ryan Flournoy, I felt like is going to make the wide receiver depth because we're going to carry around 5 to 6 receivers. And then Nathan Thomas, swing guy, and Justin Rogers, I for sure is going to make the roster because we barely have any defensive tackle help. So Justin Rogers is going to be able to fill in for you at defensive tackle and help out Mozzie when he needs a break. That's it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.